The garden is coming apart finally, guys. We have been behind schedule. Good morning, it's Alicia from Providence Farmstead, and we are trying to catch up on things. Matt took the boys hunting in Kentucky this weekend because it was youth season, and they had a successful weekend and they had a lot of fun. So now I told Matt, I said, we have to do things in the garden because it's going to rain all week. Next week, it's Monday now. So we also started our wood boiler, and it's a little warm now, but it was cold over the weekend. Matt came home last night and got it all going for me, which was nice to wake up to this morning and not be freezing. So I can't complain about that. We still have... Hi! How's it going? You want to come tell me about your weekend? You want to tell me about your weekend?
Yeah, we went hunting.
You want to come tell me about it?
We went hunting at Kentucky for about a few days.
Mm-hmm.
I got one of my first deer. My brother got it his 6th and 7th.
But you got your first deer.
Yeah.
How far away was it?
Oh, 79 yards.
Awesome. Was it a doe?
No, it was a button buck.
It was a button buck. Good job, buddy. Did you drop it?
Yep.
So they're pretty excited. So we still have tomatoes. We've got a few beans we're still working on here, but a lot of things are done. The peppers are still doing fairly decent, surprisingly, because we did have a frost this weekend. I do need to pull some peppers off and making chili, so we'll be using some in those. And then the fall crops are doing pretty well. We got beets and carrots going on, growing happily. And we have the turnips coming up. I did plant some parsnips next to them, which take a while to germinate, so we'll see how they do. So we'll see how they do. This row here is where I'm getting ready to plant all of the bedding plants that I have up by the porch that have needed to go in the ground for about a week or two. There's some radishes over there by Matt, and we have some greens. There's only a few rutabaga in this row that came up. I'm not quite sure what happened. I planted some beets in between on this end, and then on that end I'm going to rework it for something else. So we got the first row of cattle panels out from where the tomatoes were, and Matt's been working on pulling the poles out, and then we're gonna start working on the next row. And then of course we haven't even pulled tomatoes off the third row. We need to get that done also. Hey buddy. Did you have a good weekend?
Yep.
Yep. They got a little cold, so they came home with little stopped up noses. Didn't you, buddy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is not level, very level.
It's not level. Well, it's okay. It's all right. It's not hurting anything. On my Instagram page, there is a Modern Homestead Challenge. It's hashtag Modern Homesteader Challenge, I believe. And one day it was something that was the color orange, and I posted a nasturtium, and another lady who has a homestead asked me how they do after frost, and I said, well, honestly, I'm not sure. So we had our first frost Saturday night, and I took a picture of them with the frost on them. I could tell they weren't happy, but I wasn't sure exactly how bad it was. But so they are sort of dying off, but still there a little bit. I don't know, I guess maybe the frost hit worse in some spots than it did on others. I have to show you guys something really cool, something we've never grown before. Look at this, guys. We have cotton. How neat is that? It's brown. It's the natural color. And I'll have to get out here and pick some of it. Isn't that neat? We grew our own cotton.
Oh,
How big that one is. I don't know what we'll do with it, but it's neat. You can pick one and just cut it in half and see. If it's not, then you can leave it for the bees. Bees like watermelon.
What about that? Because buffet? Not how you put a watermelon.
So how was your weekend, Gabriel?
Well, it started out the first day we set up the ground. It was raining when we got there to Kentucky. We set up the ground blind, we hunted with the crossbow that night and saw about 6 deer. Second day, what?
You want to take a bite of it? You can see. Not very good? No. Leave it for the bees to eat.
Only a little bit.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. First deer that morning.
The second morning?
Morning.
Wasn't that the morning you got your deer?
Yeah. And later on in the evening, I shot 2.
Mm-hmm.
That the blackout Dad made.
I'm going to plug in some pictures so everybody can see. You had a good weekend, didn't you? Their first guys' weekend. Didn't you, buddy? Did you have a guys' weekend?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was fun.
Looking rough this morning. Got up, haven't stopped working, trying to get all the stuff done, and it was probably 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Once I got home, got the boiler going and everything. But I'll tell you, couldn't ask for a better youth hunt weekend. And I mean, what's better than take the kids out and have a great time with them? Kentucky has amazing fish and wildlife areas, places, and they're light years ahead of Indiana on all that.
Basil does not like frost.
So earlier in the year, we said we put our panels up to tie all our tomatoes and whenever they're trellising things up with zip ties because they were quick, cheap, fast, and they only have to last a season. And whenever you're done, this is how easy it is to get them loose, just right there. And makes it a whole lot faster. Now you do have a little trash, but that's okay. Come through. It's the bad part about using twine.
We used recycled t-shirts early in the season and then ran out of those and used twine. The twine blends in and it makes it a little harder to get off. The recycled t-shirts were nice because I could see them better. But
you still missed that.
But I still missed bits of it.
Here, that close to you. Y'all know better than that stuff, but I guess you forget over the summer.
The boys took down a dead maple that was in our yard and we're going to use that to feed the beast this week. So we won't have to worry about wood. Meanwhile, I've made some chili for dinner with yummy things from our land. And I'm going to go work in the garden. I'm going to try to finally get these bedding plants in because after that I need to pull the peppers and the flowers that are done so that I can plant some hardy annual flowers and also some ranunculus and anemone corms that I have. So it's a busy day, lots of things to do. Good morning for day 2. We didn't get our video done yesterday, so we're going to finish it up today. We're still working on cleaning up the garden. We had a chiropractor appointment yesterday, and Gabriel had his first basketball practice. It got just too busy. We couldn't get it all done. So we're going to work on trying to get this done. Matt's got to go back to work tonight, and hopefully we can get the garden cleaned up and get some things in the ground. We didn't have a whole lot of luck with these beans. They didn't produce enough for us to harvest a lot out of, but I am going to have some seeds to save, which is good. I'm not even sure until I open them exactly which ones they are. There's still a lot of green ones on there, just not quite enough for us to eat, I don't think. The beans. This is frost damage here. You can see that the frost is starting to affect the plants. So that means we'll have to get something done with them. Thanks, buddy. Oh, like he brought you an ice cream. Ice cream for breakfast, apparently.
All right.
Thank you.
These are the Christmas pole lima beans. How beautiful. So I got lots of seeds to open up. Also noticed that the frost killed our only sweet potato. So I need to dig that up and see if there's any sweet potatoes in there. It's the only one that survived. Of course, I planted my sweet potatoes way too late anyway. So there may not be anything worth a hoot. But I wanted to show you my pants I was telling you about. These are the leggings that I got from Duluth Trading. They do have a pretty good built-in knee pad. Like I said, I'm a little short for them. But these are going to be handy today while I finish planting. They're nice and stretchy. You should order a size down. Apparently they run a little big, so I ordered a size down. You don't want them to fall off, obviously. So I'm pretty happy with them so far.
How are they on price?
Like I said earlier, I got them half off. I think they're normally $80 a pair, which is really expensive. But apparently Duluth has a really good return policy. You can return them up to a year, even if you've worn them. So I got them half off. I think if they're still half off, I might order a second pair because they are just pretty awesome.
Starting to get fall beds put in.
I think we're going to run out of space. I think we might have to... Matt just informed me that we would have been better off going this way with our row. But kind of late now. So we may have to have two.
Still got quite a few plants to put in.
I'm working on cauliflower now. Using my Hori knife. This is a great tool. So glad I got it. It works for a little bit of everything. Right now I'm using it as a shovel. These guys are leggy looking. I'm intense planting these because I know I'm low on space, so they're going a little closer than what I would normally put them. By about 3 inches, 4 inches.
Probably the biggest one a year, Mom.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Radish? Cool, buddy. Chocolate face.
You're the one. Dad's chocolate face too.
Oh, no, he's not. He doesn't have a chocolate face like you.
He has a chocolate beard.
He has a well, his beard's dark. You guys are so silly. These are wonderful, guys. I mean, these knee pads are great. These are going to be so awesome next spring.
Stubborn T-posts that didn't want to pull out very easy, so the same concept is what I'm doing with the ground rod out when I move the goats around. Although this is a very chintzy dog chain, and it's all the boys could find. So take it, wrap it around, tie a clove hitch in it, it bites, then I hook it onto the 3-point, pull it out of the ground.
Okay, Gabriel holding the brake this time. You would hardly know that this is the same garden, guys. Matt went ahead and tilled this area up so that we could put some strawberries in here for one thing, and maybe the garlic, and then we'll start putting our cover crop out. And then this area right here, I think, is where I'm going to put the anemones and ranunculus and maybe some hardy fall annuals, just a few. It'll just be a small patch, and I'm okay with that because I don't want to be overwhelmed with annuals, and I'm getting them in really late, so I want to make sure they get done. But we went ahead and cleared most of the tomato area out. There's still a few marigold plants out there. We left them just in case any pollinators might need them. There are still peppers and zinnias and beans and the late tomatoes out here, but really that's about it from summertime. Now all of my fall stuff is mostly out, which is super exciting, and hopefully it will do well. I will be able to put a low tunnel over this row and over this row where I put all the broccoli. I have a little bit more space at the end of this row that I'm going to use for planting something else, but I'm not sure what yet. So overall, guys, it's awesome and a lot of work. So good night.